Hello students, welcome to Artbeat short-term course session, and in this session we're going to learn how to paint a realistic bird using acrylic. So I have already prepared the sketch. If you can see, I have already drawn a bird sketch on my canvas cloth, and now I'm just coloring it. So even you can prepare the sketch, it is very much easier to prepare this bird sketch. And now I'm using orange color and I am just applying it on top of the head. I have just applied too much of water and I'm giving a very smoother effect to her. I'm just spreading it out. Here we see lots of colors in this birds. We see orange, we see red, blue, yellow, green. So there are too much of colors, so we have to utilize the space, like first which color we have to use and then which color we have to apply. So we have to decide about that in prayer. So the first color which I'm using is an orange. I'm using it wherever it is necessary. I'm just giving the feather shape by using this orange as well. The shape of the feather is very much important. If you just plainly apply any color and then to give the shape of the feather, it will be difficult at the end. So by the time we start our first base color, we will start giving the shape of the feather as well. And we will color accordingly. So inside that, I'm using a darker red. So it is appearing like a gradient shade, isn't it? So I'm applying the darker red now. So now as you can see, I'm applying the darker red shade. So this is appearing like a gradient shade wherein we can see the darker shade of the feather and the lighter shade of the feather as well. And still I'm making sure that I give the shape of the feather. I'm not losing the shape of the feather. That is the most important thing over here. I'm just giving the fine finishing now. And I'm filling the red color inside the white spaces, which we could see. I've zoomed in so that you can see it more clear and bright. I'm using crimson red now, which is more darker color, and I'm giving it for the edges. So I'm just giving it for the right side of the edges now. And now I'm doing it for the left side feather. So only here and there randomly I'm giving the darker shade for the feathers. Now I'm outlining it with that for the face of the bird. So now as you can see, I'm using my yellow color. Please wash your brush nice and neat so that the red does not get mixed with the yellow. And it appears something like orange, so it's always better to use a clean brush. Okay, please fill up all the white caps. We don't want any white caps to be left out. Now I'm using the cobalt blue color. I'm applying for the rest of the feather. I'm using a 0 number brush in order to get the detailings properly for the feather. So you can even use a 000 brush or a 1 number brush, whichever you're comfortable with. And also you can use a flat brush. It is not mandatory that you have to use a round brush. It's okay even if you use a flat brush, but make sure that you're using a 0 number flat brush or a 1 number flat brush. So now I'm heading to the tail part of the bird. So as you can see, I have applied a blue stroke for the tail feather, and now I'm applying the red stroke for the tail. Now you can see a beautiful shape of the bird which is coming out. So now let's get into the detailing part. Now as you can see, I have taken some brown color which is for the branch. So we can see the bird is sitting on a branch. So I'm taking brown color and I have diluted it. I'm applying it for the branch now. Now I have applied it for the branch. I have applied only in some places. I have given the strokes. And now I'm applying black color for the outline of the beak. And I'm making the eyeball of the bird. Now it is coming up really cute, isn't it? I'm just making the shape of the beak now. And I'm giving the darker shade, that is using a black. I'm giving some strokes for the bird's feather and the body. Also, I'm using a bit of brown for the beak. And I'm using some dots around the eyes using brown color. So probably you can even call it as a dabbing technique. So I'm using a dabbing technique over here, which I have even used on some parts of the beak. And now I have taken green in my palette, taken both the shades of the green, the dark green and the lighter green, and also I'm taking some shade of yellow. So I'm mixing lighter green into yellow, and I am applying the strokes for the leaves. I'm using the zero number brush here as well, and I'm creating the leaf strokes. So it has to be random and as fast as possible so that you get a thin line of stroke. Be careful while you're going near to the bird and apply it all over the sheet. Now I'm taking the light green. I'm not mixing it with yellow now. I'm just taking the plain light green color. And I'm applying it in the middle part of the leaves and also in the edges of the leaves. I'm giving a darker and the lighter effect. It is like a darker shade and I'm highlighting it in some places to give it a realistic look. Now I'm even giving a lighter green shade even on the branches. Wash your brush nice and neat so that we won't get mixed with the colors. Now I'm just giving the darker green shade wherever it is required and necessary for the leaves. So now as you can see, I'm using a very thin brush, which is a 000 brush. It is more thin than I used it before for the lighter green and yellow. So it has to be a very thin line wherein we give a shade of the dark. Now I'm just giving the darker green shade for the feathers as well. So now our artwork is completed. Isn't it looking good? So I want you people to practice the same, and if you have any doubts you can ask the teachers anytime, and carefully remove the masking tape once it is done. Also you can even add your own background color if you wish to. That will also look good. And here I have used a canvas cloth. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the session. Practice it again and again, and remember, art is always a good start.